Okay, today we're going to figure out how I'm going to mount that table. I actually have two of them. One of them I still probably need to modify a little bit. I'm going to put it in here. The problem is I don't have a floor. So I've got to come up with some way to mount it positively, so it doesn't move, fall over. And I think what I'm going to do, I dug around out in the yard pit and found me an old 2x4, and I've got one more. I have limited means, is what I'm telling you. And I'm going to figure out how to mount these to the wall. Okay, well, first thing you want to do, of course, is clean up your work area. All right? And then the next thing I want to do is get some measurements. So I've measured my table, and it's 35.5 inches wide. My area across there is about 6 foot. Yeah. So I've got two of those, that's 70 inches, and that'll fit. So now I want to get the height, and I'll measure off where future floor will be, maybe more or less, and then I can mount this 2x4 on the wall. All right, so now me and Mark coming in from the bottom of that 2x6 on the floor that you can't see, and measured up from it 33.5 inches. My table leg, or table bottom to top, is 31.5. 2 more inches lets the 2x4 stick up a little bit at the back. So that'll be kind of a backsplash, if you will. Now I'm going to level it up. And how I'm going to do that is with the shorter 2x4 from the corner. Just hold that there. It'd make it easier on you if you had a helper. But I don't got a helper. So I'm just going to do it this way. All right. That's pretty good right there. Yeah, that's all right. It's gonna work. Okay. So I went ahead and I pulled my mark from the outside to the middle and marked it there. Then I put my first screw in the middle, came over to the end I hadn't marked, and just threw a level on it, drilled my screw in there, and then went over there where it was already marked on that end, lifted it up and screwed it in. And of course now I'll go and charge up my drill. Well, while that battery's charging, we'll look at where we're at. What I'm going to do here is I'll mark a straight level line across the back, 1.5 inches from the bottom, and then I'll level the top of the tables with that line. Let me show you a quick carpenter trick. See this tape measure here? Well, it's not pretty, but your 25, 35 foot tape measures, this edge here, that's 1.5 inches. You hold that up there. That's 1.5 inch line. Move you in here. And you can see it, right? Here, tip for the day. well, now we go ahead and prop up the bottom. Kind of get it not level, but closer so I don't have to hold the whole force of it. Got a mark in the middle so I can kind of center it in between the posts. It would probably be better between the window panes, but we're not going there. If I get the top right, the rest will follow. So go ahead and put some screws in. We'll start with one on the end. Now you see that's just under 1/8 inch on the low side. But I don't care, I'll just make the other one match it. This will all have to move when I put a floor in anyways. There we go. So the ends are really nailed down. Now I'll put 3 more in there, just to make sure it doesn't pull down. How I'm doing this is basically how you install base cabinets. So we used to hand built cabinets, and we would take a 1x4 across the back, get it level on the wall, screw it on there, and then you build the whole cabinet off of that. Now they make them out of tiny particle board on the back, and if you don't reinforce that, you'll just it'll pull right through the cabinet and lean forward. Garbage. All right. Anyways, installing cabinets, you get a straight line on the back, and then you level the front to the back. So you always go to the highest part of the floor to make your measurement. And that way your countertop will always be level. You may have 1.5 inches on the floor over here, but between there and the cabinet, you've got to fill that in down here, underneath the eye line. You don't want your cabinet out of level. There, that's 5 screws. Now everything else will go based off that. The bottom screws just kind of hold it stationary. They don't really do anything. So now I'm sizing up my second table here, and you know, it still has the angle iron on the outside. And I don't like how it's going, you know. It's just sticking out there. I'm gonna have to do it later, so I may as well just take this apart now. And I think I'll just eliminate the ones in the middle and both those tops together, and then build the shelf where it'll attach to that leg. Just leave these 2 legs on and brace them up. Try to show a little more detail what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna hold this up like so. All right? Yeah, like that. Make a little mark there on the end, and then make a mark over there. Okay. Now just take my grinder, cut that across there and there, there and there, both sides, and I can set my legs in and weld them. Well, you guys wouldn't believe it, but tell you what, having a nice table to work on is already paying off. Been over here grinding, cleaning up this metal to weld it. Shoot, it's just a breeze. We'll get some vice grips on here, square them corners, and go bzz, bzz, until they stay in place. All right? All right. Got my dog here. We're ready to do some welding. All right, look out, Super Dog. Split this on. Let her get warmed up a 1/2 second. Come on now. got 19 and just under 8. And we got 19 and just under 8. That'll work. May or may not hold that. Maybe a little more from here. Now that should work. All right. Grind them up, make them look like professional did it. We'll get this thing bolted together. All right, well, I went ahead and shot a little acrylic spackling on there. Let's see if I can get this started here. If you're doing yours, you should probably let the paint dry, but I ain't got time. Get in there. What are you doing? Come on. Now. All right. Move it. All right. A little more room on this one for some reason. People talk while they're doing stuff. I don't know. That's where I go into meditation, thinking about the next step. Well, this just kind of worked out because now I've probably got enough screws to put my table saw back together. That'll be nice. I like it. Well, now the next step, we'll build some cross braces. The ones I've taken out, they're going to be a little too long. Plus now, I'm going to need to bolt straight in on the end. So my plan here is go ahead and cut this off to the right length. Take a little of this leftover I've got and cut me out a little square and weld it on the end. Make sure I've got a hole going through this way, and then I can just bolt it straight on there and then bolt it in from the front on the other end. I'll make 2 of those, and then I've got to find another piece of scrap to go across the end. And that'll give it some structural strength. And I have to put a shelf on it, and that'll lock it down square. But look at this. Now a guy can put a little work up there and his tools. That's gonna be nice. Yep. Oh wait, I was out there looking at my washing machine scraps and thought about this right here. You know, guy might need an extra foot or 2. Just hinge that on there, flip it up. There we go. Just get an angle on there and kind of triangulated it. Grind it down. Now she can bolt in from the end. Let's do one more. And I got my welding done on this, but I got a hole that's a little bit out of alignment. So since I don't have a drill press and I don't feel like welding it shut, put this one over the top of it and align it where I want it, and then I'll just drill through this one. Maybe that'll work. We'll find out. And there we go. A couple more holes to drill here, and I'm gonna put this together. All right, braces are in, all bolted up. Get on to the next piece. Now before I run out of parts, a little bit of a bed frame left here, and I stick it in here back here. So I got that Can No More lid, shove it up against there, right? So now I know it's that deep. Well, if it'll stay there. Stop it. Okay, it's close enough. But then I can tell that that's going to fit exactly how I want it. So I'm going to take this, drill a couple of holes in it maybe, cut off a piece, and cut off another piece, bolt it in a couple places. Maybe I'd like to get down there. I have to get choosy how I cut this now. Maybe I'll cut the other way. All right, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this and make a little hinge. Okay. I'm going to kind of set up here. Angle iron is cut. I've got it clamped on underneath here, you can see. And I've got it clamped over there, right? Problem I ran in was, my boat head on the other side rammed into the wood, so I had to make a little path for it to go. Now, I can drill this or bolt it, or I could just weld it on there. Okay, well, life's short, so I just welded that buggered on, and there we go. Folds right down there. I can lift it up. Let me get a brace here. There we go. There we go. I can make me a couple of braces and attach them to the edge, fold them up, swing it down. About done with this mess. Put a little shelf and some reinforcement and that'll be done. And I've got another section over here I got to work on. Now we can start seeing why I left this 2x4 sticking up here. I went along up here about every 2 inches, more or less, and drilled holes so I can stick my screwdrivers in there. Start over here with the flatheads and then the Phillips. Now I'm running around trying to find them all. Put me a little 4x4 block, drilled it. You're always losing these, aren't you? So now they got a place. I can change my grinder blades if I need to. And whatever, I mean, stuck that in there. That right there, I may drill deeper, but right now, I can stake some of these and go in there. Maybe I'll make it a little deeper, but there. Stupid screw bits. Yeah. Oh well, I'll do something with it. So, there. You guys got any tips of building things to organize? Just go ahead and click down there in the comments part. Tell me what you got. Share your videos, whatever you want to do. Well, I don't know what happened. Temperature dove to 40 degrees. It's supposed to be 28 degrees tonight, and I was sweating just yesterday. So, still building on the table. Look at the chaos. Perfect. Now I need a metal brake. So, got me 3 pieces of angle iron. One of them is quite heavy, but I don't want to move it yet. I'll show you in a minute. I'm just going to weld me some hinges on this and turn it over and clamp it up, and then I'll bring you back and show you. I've got my hinges on now. Yeah, weld them shut. Get a little bit of a break. Get this thing set up. We can drill a couple of holes and run some bolts through the ends. Down, straight down. Bolt this down. Put me a little A-brace right here with the adjuster in the middle. Straighten out that bent angle iron. And maybe I'll grind an edge along one side of that. Put some handles on it. And there we go. Hey, more scrap iron to the rescue. my angle iron, drilled me a little hole here, big hole. You can see it. Got me a couple of exhaust bolts. Welded them down on each end. That's ugly. But you know what? You slide that on there, you won't see it no more. Couple washers on there, and just bolt her down. Did a little test piece last night where I come in here and broke this weld and then re-welded it, you know. But I've got a couple pieces I need to build for the 58, and they've got a flat part and a curve like that. This is my first effort, so I want that curve not to be quite so big around there. I want it to taper back a little more, but I found that I can do that. So what I'm going to do is on this angle iron is I'll flip it over, grind an edge on one side, and leave it kind of round on the other. See? Then I'll get my sharp breaks there, and I can get my little rounded edges there with the rounded edge. I think that's going to work for me. All right. Well, as you can see, I got a little bit more to do to make this done. A couple of handles, brace on the top, possibly on the bottom. We'll see how that goes. But let's just get this one wrapped up for you guys. And hope you can put up a little bit more of this stupid shop tricks. We'll build a floor in here, maybe a wall, you know. Put my stove inside someplace. It'll be fun. Or it won't. Somebody, I need a cleaning girl. Cleaning girl, coffee maker. Cheap. Put that on my list. That's working out. Yep. The fire. You'll watch this video just for the fire. Let me get back away from it. There we go. Have your little campfire while we talk. All right. Well, I just want to say it's been a year since my first 58 Chevy video. Now we're just tinkering around in here. There's going to be more to come on that. I'm just trying to get things to where I can work. It's chaos around here. But I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I hope you'll continue to come back, comment. If you guys got any more tips on making, you know, tools or organizing, put them down in the comments. If you got any links to share them down there. I'll look, maybe, probably. Well, here comes Zener. She wants a new floor. So that's my next project here. Get some wood, put some floor in, put my stove in the inside. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming.